and the rest is alignment and breathing. And if you have the alignment, you can rest when you need to rest. Then, and you have the breathing, then it's just finding the pace.
Sure.
If you already know you can do it, then it's already just finding the pace and training that so you can call upon it at will. Most people don't want to train that day in, day out, so because it's a practice, But for those that don't want to take it to that extent, whatever the set of the goal is, okay, I'm going to do 3 minutes, and you have to learn very early on that if you start out too fast, okay, you may not complete the goal for that particular training session. Okay, well, what are you going to do? If you adjust it well, and it's the psychology and analyzing, and I just, that's what's fascinating to me about it, more than just the training, because honestly, I'm 44 years old. I'm not old. I'm not young in the sense that I'm not at a point in my life where, okay, I'm going to try to become a world champion in some sport. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing other things. It's cool and I respect it, but every fitness professional doesn't have to be like the best athlete in the world. That's kind of a distraction,
Mm-hmm.
It's really about what can you learn and what can you teach effectively.
Right.
So for me, that's my focus, teaching effectively. And, but still I study that. And the curiosity, I study it. I want to understand how these guys do it. I try to apply it to myself, and so yeah, it's very valuable. And for example, if somebody had a goal and they wanted to work towards that goal, you could certainly apply that same mentality to doing that, because it involves regular episodes of having to do something that you don't want to do.
The secret to success.
I do not feel like doing this thing in front of me in paper. I don't like the coach right now. Whatever. You do it, you don't do it. Maybe you do it, it sucked. Maybe you did it, it was pleasantly focused. But, the guys that do it become champions. And for some people, they can do it in sport and you're not able to do it outside of sport. Well, right. Those are called jocks. But, for me, I'm glad to have activity that is athletic in nature. But I'm a philosopher. I have ideas about the world, and I use this as a vehicle to create community, to meet people. Maybe some of your listeners know, some of them don't. I've been to about 60 countries now. I think wow. 58.
That's amazing.
It'll be 60, and next time we talk, it'll be probably something more than that. But
sure,
I go around a lot of places. I get to see a lot of people, and it's all related to what I'm doing, though, fitness and health, and it's pretty enthusiastic, I would say.
Yeah.
If there was more people like us calling the shots about important things, I think the world would be a much happier place, actually.
Yeah.
Because people that are involved in this type of activity, they're not really sitting around complaining. No. Some of them maybe, they're going to protests or whatever. They're not really sitting around complaining. They're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's in a level of just for yourself, physical, if you're out there every day running or every day at a gym, even that, you're still doing something and you're still working, and it's yourself. And, I think that's a great example that in the fitness world that it's growing as into some kind of industry. I think that's an example that can be brought out into other sectors of society, because I think that most other sectors lack that. I have a lot of high hopes about it. I see my work more as not really an ambassador, but maybe an ambassador. But okay, what are we actually talking about? Are we talking about religion? Are we talking about politics? Are we talking about sex? Are we talking about anything that offends anybody? No. What are we talking about? We're talking about wellness. We're talking about health.
Sure.
Can we agree on that topic? Yes. Okay. All right. So we want to be healthy. We want to be stronger. What are ways we do it? Well, I think CrossFit's the best thing ever since the beginning of civilization and paleo. Okay. All right, fine. If you like CrossFit, here's a guy, he's passionate about his CrossFit, but, or kettlebells is you will be a mutant with tree swinging traps, or whatever, or Olympic lifting. You're gonna be,
Yeah.
or whatever. You're gonna
Find
be
something you love and improve
exactly
yourself.
that. The bottom line is all of those things. What they have in common is you have to get off your butt and do something, and so it gets things moving in a positive direction.
Sure.
And it's non-threatening because even if you don't like my political views or whatever, it's like I know my craft and I'm here to help you. So, if you want to get more fit, if you want to have some practices learning how to breathe more effectively, how to move more easily, I can help you with that. There's also other people that, I'm not the only guy out here doing that.
Hmm.
So there's other people too, but for me, the work is bigger than just reps and sets.
Right.
For
Right.
me, I just feel like, you know, I'm in my 40s now. It's time to do some more important stuff.
Trying to spread the message of health and
Exactly.
wellness, right?
It's not just the money, man, because money is energy, and the people are uptight about money because the money supply we know in the U.S. it's not backed in anything, and because honestly, it's politics, but it's global politics, but it involves everybody, right? Because we
Right.
all have to spend the money, so it's can talk about something else, whatever, but this stuff is important,
Yeah.
and the bottom line is it's not about money in the first place, so we shouldn't be distracted. If you're out in the world doing stuff of value and contributing, that's called being in the marketplace. And when you're in the marketplace and you're doing work, there's rewards for that. We use money in this day and age, but if the money fails, maybe it'll be bartering or silver or something else. We don't
Sure.
know. We can't read the future. But people will still survive because we have ingenuity,
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, I want to get rich, I want to get famous, hurry up while I still have time. No, because then you don't enjoy what you do. I actually enjoy what I do. I think I make a difference, even if it's just one person everywhere I go, even if just one or two people, take it to a higher level, then it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
So
I think that's so important that people do what they love and try to help people and so they can die leaving some sort of legacy and feeling good about the impact that they put on this world. I mean, that's such an important thing that everybody needs to have in their lives.
true,
Yeah.
true.
I have one final question for you, Steve, real quick. And I ask everybody this question. You're very successful as an athlete. You're very successful as a coach and a trainer now. What's your secret to success?
The secret to success is we can have whatever we want in life. We have to ask for it. We have to believe that we already have it. And we cannot be distracted by all the messages around that create doubt. We have to stay focused and keep our eye on the prize, as the saying goes. Keep your eyes on the direction you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be distracted by where it seems that you are right now, because as long as we move towards that, we create the life that we really want. So we have to be clear. Have to be clear about what we want, because careful what you ask for, you just might get it.
That's such a great advice. I feel like so many people don't take the time to figure out what they want to be, who they want to be, what they want to do with their lives, and that's such a powerful message.
Take the time. You know why? Because when they take you at 5 years old and sit you in a chair and tell you not to move, that's the industrial model. That's
Right.
the industrial model. They're creating workers from an early age. Follow my instructions. I know better than you. And nothing wrong. There's good teachers. There's bad teachers. It's like CrossFit or kettlebells or anything else. It's
Right.
good and bad and everything. Okay, but that's the reason. Like, they don't teach that. They don't
Sure.
teach. Okay, think about the schools of the future. The kids are going to come in. They're going to be identified for what they do well and what they enjoy. They're going to still learn the basic math, sciences, music, stuff, the foundational arts of a civilized society. And on top of that, they're going to, they're going to understand how to set goals. They're going to understand about thinking clearly and getting out of your mind and putting it on paper. And, here's techniques and here's the things you need to do. Then by the time they're 18, they're world leaders. By the time they're 18, they're advanced civilization. They have youth and wisdom. They can accomplish anything. That's how I see it. That's my goal. That's the kind of schools that I want to be involved in.
Yeah.
It's just about knowledge and education, art forms, and people have to learn how to use their minds correctly.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. Sounds like we could go into a lot more in-depth talk about everything in the
Absolutely,
future.
absolutely.
Well, Steve Cotter, I really appreciate you taking the time to get on the call and share your wisdom with us, brother.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks for the discussion.